Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to see an amazing bike riding movie. So without wasting any time, let's begin. The movie starts in a desert area outside a town. Two cars are getting ready for an illegal race. As the race begins, suddenly a biker enters the race. The car drivers try to block him and stop him from overtaking. But the biker speeds up, performs a wheelie, and smartly overtakes both cars. After that, the biker enters the town. He is our story's hero, John. A kid nearby asks John if he wants to fill fuel. But John replies no and walks into a shop. Inside the shop, he sees many photos of famous bike riders. Among them, he notices an old photo of himself with his lover, Shane. John looks emotional and walks out of the shop. Meanwhile, the car racers arrive there and start behaving rudely with the kid. Seeing this, John steps in and fights with both of them. He defeats them easily, and the car racers run away. At that moment, two bikers arrive. They turn out to be John's best friends. His friends asks why John has been hiding from the police for the past 6 months, and why he has suddenly returned now. John replies that he came back to solve all his problems. He also says that he could never forget Shane. John tells them he will handle everything alone, and asks them not to get into trouble because of him. But his friends reply that they are always with him, no matter what. All three of them ride together toward a bike racing area in the town. Because of their high speed, a biker from a local gang falls from his bike. Angry, the biker starts chasing John and his friends. A fight breaks out between them. At one point, they almost crash into a huge truck, but they narrowly escape. John manages to defeat the biker. Soon, the biker's gang arrives at the spot. Their leader, Steven, steps forward. John and Steven are about to start a serious fight. Just then, a police car arrives. To avoid trouble, both sides leave the place. Later, John and his friends reach the bike racing area. Seeing many girls there, both of John's friends leave him. One of them meets a girl named Nina. John then walks into another shop. There, he meets Shane, his lover. John asks how she is doing. Shane replies that she was fine, until the police seized her shop. She says the police claimed that her boyfriend was a drug dealer. Shane also mentions a man named Henry, who has been searching for John for stealing his bike. John admits that he stole the bike, but strongly denies being a drug dealer. Shane is hurt and angry. She tells John to leave. At that moment, Henry and his gang arrive at the shop. Seeing them, Shane grabs a gun. John signals her not to shoot. Henry asks John about his bike. John replies by asking whether Henry wants the bike, or the drugs hidden inside the bike. Realizing that John knows the truth, Henry pulls out a knife. Suddenly, Shane throws the gun toward John. John catches it and points it at Henry's head. Henry warns John to return the bike by that evening, and then leaves the place with his gang. That night, Henry meets Steven for a drug deal to supply drugs in the town. Even though Steven is involved in illegal activities, he does not want drugs to poison his people. So Steven rejects the deal. Henry offers a huge amount of money, but Steven still refuses and sends him away. Later, Shane is about to ride her bike when John arrives on his bike and asks her to come for a drink. Shane angrily tells him that he left her for 6 months and now suddenly wants her back. She rides away, but John follows her. Soon, they are happily riding together through the streets. John reaches her place, and Shane finally agrees to go for a drink with him. At the bar, Steven's brother sees John and knocks his drink to the floor. John gets angry and beats him. Steven quickly pulls his brother away and warns him for always creating problems. Feeling insulted and frustrated, Steven's brother leaves. Shane asks John why trouble follows him everywhere. John tries to explain. Meanwhile, Henry arrives at the bar with a plan. He beats a random man and creates chaos. Everyone starts running away. Steven's brother goes to the bathroom. Henry, still angry at Steven, follows him and brutally kills him using a bike chain. Elsewhere, John opens his heart to Shane and tells her how much he missed her during the past 6 months. Shane asks why he disappeared. John explains that one day Henry gave him 2 bikes to keep safe and warned him never to ride them. John thought they were normal bikes and stored them in Shane's garage. One day, when he tried to start one bike, it failed. After checking, he discovered it was filled with expensive drugs. Afraid of putting Shane in danger, John took the bike and vanished. Shane realizes this is why the police seized her garage. John says he only wants a peaceful life with her in Mexico. Moved by his love, Shane agrees to leave with him. At the same time, John's friend is spending time with Nina. Another friend arrives and tells them that everyone is leaving town, and Shane is coming too. Police arrive at the murder scene. Steven finds his brother dead and is consumed by rage. Police inform him they have a witness. The witness is a woman from Henry's gang. She lies and claims that John killed Stephen's brother. Enraged, Stephen storms away. 2 FBI officers arrive at the scene. Meanwhile, one of them receives an important phone call. Stephen orders his gang to search everywhere and kill John before nightfall. John and his friends prepare to leave town with Shane. They stop at a shop to fuel their vehicle. Suddenly, a news flash appears on TV. It reports that John murdered Stephen's brother. Shane is shocked, and everyone in the shop sees the news. Police quickly trace John's location. The FBI heads toward the shop. Stephen also learns where John is. Henry calls John and tells him that everyone believes he is the killer. Henry demands his drugs in exchange for protection. Suddenly, a man points a gun at John. John disarms him, but another attacker appears. Shane stops the second attacker by pointing a gun at him. Realizing the danger, John's friend gives the gun to Nina and tells her to stay safe. All 4 of them escape. Stephen chases John through the desert. After a long chase, Stephen loses them. John and his friends hide while Stephen rides away. They take shelter inside a cave. Shane urges John to inform the police about the drugs. John refuses, fearing arrest for murder. Then John's friend notices that the bike chain on John's bike is damaged. They realize Henry used a bike chain to kill Stephen's brother. John believes that if they prove the chain belongs to Henry's bike, he can be cleared, since every bike chain is unique. Shane convinces John to contact the FBI. John calls and explains everything about the drugs and the murder, but the FBI does not believe him. Frustrated, John ends the call. With no other choice, they decide to escape to Mexico. Later, the FBI traces John's last known location. A female FBI agent reviews Henry's file and discovers he is a known drug dealer in Los Angeles. She starts to believe John might be telling the truth. Suddenly, another FBI agent connects the dots. Both agents rush toward Los Angeles. Now Stephen knows where John and his team are going, so he waits on their way. John and his friends ride fast and pass Stephen's gang. Immediately, Stephen takes his gun, and his gang follows them. John's team enters the coconut grove. Stephen's gang continuously chases them and starts shooting. John's friend confuses them and causes 2 bikes to crash into each other. One guy shoots Shane and follows her. Shane pulls out her gun, turns and shoots. But in the chaos, she falls down and immediately hides behind a tree. The guy approaches the tree with his gun, but Shane takes her broken silencer and attacks him. On the other end, John and Stephen ride out of the coconut grove and reach the train tracks. John uses a slope and jumps onto the train. Somehow, he manages to stabilize his bike. Stephen also jumps onto the train, and the chase continues on the train. Stephen shoots John, causing John to lose control and fall between the train compartments, but he manages to ride his bike inside the train. Stephen continues riding on top of the train. At one point, John exits the train, rides fast, and gets in front of the train on the track. Stephen jumps in front of the train as well, and the chase continues. John gets out of the track, but when Stephen tries to exit, his bike tire bursts, and he falls onto the track, trapped between the bike. Seeing this, John immediately rides towards Stephen and saves him just in time. They end up on opposite sides as the train crashes into the bike, causing a huge explosion. Stephen watches from the other side as John vanishes, but Stephen is left with John's bike. As John walks through the desert mountains, Shane arrives and picks him up. Meanwhile, Stephen feels confused and tells his friend that John had the choice to leave him dead on the track but instead saved him. He realizes John did not kill his brother and must know who did. They decide to follow John. John and his friends reach a petrol bunk to refill fuel. His friends inform him that all routes to Los Angeles are blocked. John calls Henry and tells him to meet tomorrow afternoon at Shane's garage in Los Angeles to take his drugs. John's friends ask how they will reach Los Angeles. John thinks for a moment and notices a car racing truck. Without the driver's knowledge, they load their bikes into the truck. Inside, they see an amazing racing car. FBI officers trace them to the petrol bunk and question the staff about the bikers, but they get no information. However, one officer checks the CCTV footage and finds some clues. Inside the truck, John's bike stops working, which frustrates him. Shane comforts him with her love, and they are about to kiss. Suddenly, the truck stops at the Los Angeles border, where police are checking vehicles. The officers ask the driver to open the truck. Meanwhile, John's friend prepares to ride out on a bike to distract the police. Just then, an officer recognizes the driver as a racer and lets him go without checking, wishing him luck for tomorrow's race. The next day, Henry waits for John's call. The FBI stops the truck and confirms through CCTV footage that John's team is inside. When the truck opens, John rides out with the racing car, and his friends escape on their bikes. Steven arrives and starts chasing John. FBI officers follow them in a Jeep. John tells his friends to take Shane to a safe place while he diverts the police. Shane refuses to leave him, but John convinces her with a kiss. While riding, they switch vehicles. John rides onto a fallen signboard and changes his route. Steven follows him. The female FBI officer tells her partner to slow down, but he speeds up, tries to switch roads, and crashes, flipping the vehicle upside down. Steven continues chasing John. On a bridge, both lose control and fall. They start fighting. At one point, John points a gun at Steven and explains that Henry killed his brother. Steven asks how he can believe him. John hands over the gun and tells him to shoot if he does not believe. Steven finally trusts him. John calls the FBI officer and promises to hand over the drugs and Henry, asking him to come to Shane's garage. John reveals a hidden bike stored in a container. At the garage, John shows Steven a world-class high-speed vehicle made of carbon fiber, powered like a helicopter engine. The FBI arrives. John tells them Henry is about to come and asks them to wait. The officers confirm the drugs are there. Suddenly, the male FBI officer shoots the female officer and points the gun at John. John distracts him by asking him to confirm the drugs in the vehicle. While the officer checks, John reaches for a trigger connected to the bombs in the bikes. The officer receives a call and says, "You can come now." The twist is revealed. His partner is Henry. Henry arrives with Shane and John's friend as hostages. Henry mocks John and demands the drugs. The injured female officer secretly calls for backup. Using the distraction, Steven rides his bike straight at the officer and knocks him down. A massive fight breaks out. John's friends fight Henry's men. John fights Henry. Steven fights using his bike and chains the man who killed his brother, killing him by hanging. Henry grabs the drugs and escapes. John frees Shane and rides the high-speed bike to chase Henry. After the fight, Steven and John's friends become allies. Meanwhile, the female officer reveals she is wearing a bomb vest and holds the trigger. She tells everyone to run. She detonates the bomb, killing the corrupted FBI officer. Shane chases a woman from Henry's gang. They fight on bikes. At one point, Shane jumps and kicks her off the bike, saying she messed with the wrong person. John rides like a ghost unleashed from hell. His speed shakes parked cars and shatters glass. He catches Henry within seconds. They fight on bikes. John rides up a slope, lands on Henry's vehicle, causes a massive explosion, and jumps off, escaping just in time. Shane picks him up, and they return to the garage. John shows the female officer Henry's bike chain sprocket, proving it matches the weapon used to kill Steven's brother. She tells him his friends already explained everything and they will discuss it later. Steven thanks John, and John apologizes for his brother's death. Steven says he needs to leave before police arrive. Before leaving, Steven jokingly asks John never to return to his town because chaos follows him everywhere. John smiles and sends him off. Shane sadly looks at her burned garage, saying it was the only place she had. John shows her their photo and tells her he came back for her. He asks her to come with him to Mexico. Shane accepts and they share their love. John's friend reminds them he needs to pick up Nina. John smiles and says, "Let's ride." All five of them ride off together, their bikes roaring as dust rises behind them, fading into the horizon, free, fearless, and endless. That's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.